Donald Trump has not been in any way remorseful in inciting what happened on January 6th, the riots in the Capitol. He had encouraged the people at his rally to march on over to the Capitol, and we all saw how that unfolded. But what's also incredible is the fact that he can't help himself. Even considering what happened on that day, he's still bragging about crowd sizes. Let's watch.
Was it a mistake to have had that rally on that day?
Well, I didn't have, that was a rally that was there. And if you look, it was a massive rally with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. I think it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before. And I reverse it. The insurrection took place on November 3rd. That was election day. And before and after. That was, to me, the insurrection. And the January 6th was a protest. But if you would have looked at the crowds, the size, nobody wants to talk about that. I believe it was the biggest, and most people, and I've spoken to very big crowds. I have never spoken in front of a crowd that size. Nobody ever talks about that. And then, unfortunately, some bad things happened, but also the other side had some very bad things happen.
It's amazing. All of that was amazing. And in regard to bad things happening, right before the bad things started happening, Trump said this: after this, we're gonna walk down and I'll be there with you. He wasn't, he turned around, went to the White House. I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. You have to show strength and you have to be strong. He said that in his rally, in the speech, right before the riots occurred in the Capitol. And again, he did not walk over there with the rioters. He immediately turned around, went to the White House, sat his butt down, and watched everything unfold in enjoyment.
Yeah, so there's a couple parts of the story that I love. Anna's, of course, right, that he not only went back to the White House, but started watching the rioting on TV and loved it. So when the people called him from inside the building, afraid for their lives, Kevin McCarthy, Lindsey Graham, Mike Pence, etc., he told them, well, I guess you shouldn't have certified the election. So he was 100% in favor of that riot. Now, when asked about it, he says, well, at least it was a big crowd.
It's amazing, he can't help himself. He can't help himself. Even with everything else that transpired that day, he's like, big crowd. And the biggest I've ever seen. The biggest crowd of which the likes you've never seen before.
And he said, and nobody ever talks about that.
Who cares? Who cares?
I don't think that was the relevant fact about January 6th.
Dude, he's so entertaining. Like, he's so dangerous if he's in a position of power. Like, I just kind of want to watch him entertain me. Like, entertain me, because he's entertaining. He's so insane. And by the way, the whole thing about crowd sizes, that was like, his entire presidency was littered with that. Littered with it. In fact, we have receipts. Watch.
We made a speech and we had what was the name of the arena? That place was packed, right? There was some crowd.
Thank you.
And we had twice the number outside. And then you had this crazy Beto. Beto had like 400 people. I made a speech. I looked out. The field it looked like 1 million, 1.5 million people. They showed a field where there were practically nobody standing there. It looked like 1.5 million people, whatever it was. But it went all the way back to the Washington Monument. In Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, we had 35,000 people. By the way, we get the biggest crowds by far. But we get the biggest crowds. And she'll say, but they never show the crowd. And I'll say, what do you mean they never show the crowd? And I realized they never turn the camera. And I always say, I figured maybe they're fixed. These are new cameras they can't turn. The only way you find out that they're not fixed, they're like pretzels the way they can turn them. By the way, I wish the cameras would get this crowd. This crowd is incredible. Look at the cameras back there. It's like the Academy Awards. Look at this. I have to tell you, I wish these fakers back there, the fake news, I wish they'd turn the cameras and show behind them, show outside these walls. Look at the people out there. It's amazing. Look. They never turned the cameras. We went to Mississippi, we went to Missouri, we went to Nevada, we went to every place. And we have crowds with tens of thousands of people outside of every arena. They have to start building larger arenas in this country.
Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee.
Ladies, we all know what the situation really is when a dude is bragging about how big something is. I'm just saying.
Well, to be fair, he didn't brag about how big it was. He just guaranteed that there was no problem there.
No problem.
Okay, which by the way is an odd brag. If you're worried about my genitalia, no problems. There's no problems at all there. Okay, if you say so. I wasn't really asking, but okay, now I know. There are no problems.
People are saying there
are no problems with my genitalia. People are saying it. Okay, guys, so look, any rational person can see the guy's obsessed with his own ego. Doesn't speak awfully well of him. Do you like people in your lives who are obsessed with their own ego? But the second thing that it shows, obviously, is his deep, deep insecurity, right? You already got elected president of the United States of America. That's amazing. You're the most powerful man on earth at that time. What are you worried about the crowd size for? Like, in a sense, he reminds me of that last scene in Moneyball where they show a guy who had hit a home run but didn't realize it and is scrambling to get back to first base, and he's crawling on the ground, and they point up and they point to the stands. You got to know when you already hit a home run, right? You're the president of the United States. There was more people. They're not talking about the people. What, dude? Why are you so insecure? If you really have $10 billion and you're president of the United States and you're still worried about your hand size, like there's something wrong with you.
No.
But Anna, I just want to say one more thing about that in particular. It wound up being an ironic advantage because politics is all about branding. So the more he talked about crowd sizes, the more it seemed like he was popular because everybody's having a debate about his crowd size. Oh, crowd size. Whereas the Biden and the Democrats think, oh, you should never brag about anything. Well, then how will people know? Oh, it's unbecoming.
Oh,
no, that's terrible politics.
No,
okay.
I have so much to say. Look, there's something so fascinating about what Trump can get away with that I don't think anyone else can really get away with. I mean, if we were constantly talking about how popular we are, welcome to the Young Turks, the largest show in the world. Okay, we have the largest audience in the world of any show, including television series that have nothing to do with news. Like, we're the biggest show. We're the biggest show. People are saying we have the largest audience in the world of any type of live entertainment. Any type of live entertainment that includes live sporting events, like everything, right? It's no one. People would turn it off, and they should because it's embarrassing. But real quick, I just think that as someone who's not a psychologist, I should spend a little time psychoanalyzing Trump and why he talks about crowd sizes so much. Because I really think it goes back to Inauguration Day and the comparisons that the news media was making in regard to Trump's crowd size on Inauguration Day versus Obama's crowd size. And that was it. I think that was the match that lit the fire. And then after that, it's like constantly in his head, I feel like. Every time he gives a speech, anytime he has a rally, he's thinking about those articles after Inauguration Day comparing his crowd size to Obama's crowd size. It's, he wants to measure his junk, like he's obsessed with it.
So that's of course true. By the way, there is, so are we the largest of all the shows, entertainment, et cetera? No, hold on. I'm gonna back up what you're saying. But we are the largest online news network, right? And sometimes I'm forced to say that, okay, but seriously, because people will say, oh no, you guys are small or whatever, and I'll be like, well look, the numbers actually indicate we're the largest. And so I'm correcting what you're saying.
Yeah.
And Anna's right, people hate it, right? Now, audience is a different thing, that's mixed reaction. But the people in power, the other people in media, they're like, how dare you state actual facts? We hate you for stating facts. Trump will make it up and will like say absurd, outrageous things. I had the largest crowd in the universe. I checked all the other planets, and this one was the largest. And his audience loves it. But look, I think that there's a way to do it in politics, in the sphere of politics, and do it right. You don't have to make up things, and you don't have to constantly brag about your crowd size or your hand size or any other size. But you do have to brag about your policy positions. You do have to brag about the things that you did. Otherwise, in politics, no one will ever find out.
That I 100% agree with. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the other part of that answer that I didn't want to ignore because it was funny is when he asked him, well, do you feel responsibility for the crowd and the rally and then led to the riot? And Trump said, that was a rally that was there. You know why? He doesn't want to take personal responsibility for the rally because he thinks there might be legal consequences. So he was about to say in the beginning that they came for me and it was amazing and he couldn't help himself, and then later said it's like the largest thing I've ever seen, right? But when he realized, oh wait, I might be personally responsible, he said, that was a rally that was there. It just kind of showed up.
It's good that he's well trained in how to handle these things, so the interview doesn't become more of a liability in the future. But look, going back to the real issue here, which is what happened on that day with the encouragement of Donald Trump. Approximately 140 members of law enforcement suffered injuries in the attack. Law and order, people, law and order, including brain damage and crushed spinal discs. More than 130 rioters have been accused of assaulting police, and many allegedly used weapons such as pepper spray, stun guns, bats, and American flags wielded as clubs. 5 people ultimately died. So he doesn't care about any of that. He wants to talk about the crowd size.
But Anna, that ironically goes back to the same discussion we were having. And that's why I think this is really interesting. It's a funny clip, but there's a lot of substance behind it. So if Joe Biden bragged about a rally, a large rally that led to cops being murdered, the Republicans would shred him to pieces. They'd dismember him politically and maybe more, right? And they would certainly be impeached. They would have hearing after hearing after hearing, and they would call him the most evil monster of all time, and the rest of the media would instantly agree, right? Trump brags about, oh yeah, we had a large rally and then we beat up cops and we assaulted 130 of them, 5 people are dead. Yeah, it was so large. And everybody's like, oh, that's normal. That's normal. When Trump does it, it's normal. It's not normal. He's not only incredibly weird, but he's dangerous. When he thinks, hey, cops got beat up, cops got killed. Hey, at least it was good for my ego because I had a large rally that just was there. Okay, last funny thing is, he's like, they never turned the cameras. They never turned the cameras. Imagine if at a Trump rally, they turned the camera. You wouldn't see Trump. And then he'd be furious.
It's not a bad point.
Okay, why did you turn the camera? No one can see me. Why did you turn the camera? They're turning the cameras so people can't see me. You told them to turn the cameras, but if they turn them, then you're not on the camera. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.